Let's take a look at this one. This one is a polynomial inequality. And this one, what we want to do is treat it as if it just had an equal sign in it. Here we could either factor or we could use the quadratic formula. This one is probably easier if we factor it because there are factors of 6 that will give me 5. And in this case, factors of 6 that would give me 5 would be a 3 and a 2. So we can take that and put them inside our parentheses to factor. And we would set each one equal to 0, and we would end up with a -3 and a -2 for our answer. Now, this is if this problem had an equal sign in it. So what we do, since it has an inequality, is we take those two numbers and we put them on a number line. So we're going to put -3 and -2 on a number line. And what we need to do is we need to check all of these intervals. So we're going to go back to the original problem and we're going to put numbers that are on this number line. We could put, maybe we could put a -4 because that's on the left of -3. We could use -2.5 and maybe we could use a 0. And we want to check those in our original problem and see if they work. So if we do -4 in our original problem, which is x squared plus 5x plus 6, and what we're trying to show is that it's greater than 0. So if it's greater than 0, it works. If it's not greater than 0, it does not work. So if I plug -4 everywhere there's an x, I get a 2. And 2 is greater than 0, so that interval actually works. So let's go back to our number line. Our -4 works, so I'm going to put a big check mark there. We're going to go back to our problem here, and we're going to test -2.5. So we're going to put -2.5 squared plus 5 times -2.5 plus 6, and we want to know if that is greater than 0. When we put this in our calculator, we get -0.25. That is not greater than 0. That is less than 0. So that one does not work. So let's go to our interval. We're going to put a big X on it because it doesn't work. I'm going to go back now, and we're going to test 0. We're going to put 0 in there, plus 5 times 0, plus 6, and we want to know if that is greater than 0. So this is 0 plus 0 plus 6. And 6 is greater than 0. So let's go back to our interval. That one works. We've got to decide now if that -3 and -2 is included in our interval. When we look at our original problem, it's a greater than symbol. It has no form of an equal sign in it. So that means that these numbers are not included in our answer. If they were included, we would put brackets around those numbers. If they're not included, we put parentheses around those numbers. So when we go back and we try to write our original answer, we have this interval over here, which goes from -infinity to -3, but the -3 is not included. We have a big gap here where the x is, and every time there's a gap, we put a union symbol. Then we pick back up with the -2, but it is not included again, so we put a parentheses, and it goes all the way out to infinity. So this is our final answer in this problem.